Sigrid Thornton's character in The Man from Snowy River meant very little to me. It was a piss-weak film. Who knows what it was about? But Sigrid Thornton's character in Sea Change changed my world. Welcome back to Talking with Jazz with your host BigDaddy0, and welcome to a new series. In this series, we're talking tree change. I watched this show called Sea Change with my wife. I don't know whether it impacted us greatly at the time, but slowly we thought to ourselves, hey, we liked the country. We had a past in the country. But it was never going to happen because, well, our life was in the city. My life had been in the city. I lived in downtown Carlton. I knew everyone. Everyone knew me. I could just walk into a shop and people in the line would say, "Oh, hi, Pearl. How you going?" Or I'd go to the movies in the city, and I can tell you every single Saturday night, if I went to the movies, I would know somebody in the line. Melbourne is just a big, small town. Or is it just a small, big town? Nobody knows. But you get the idea. Our journey to the country had a kind of rocky start in a way, because what happened was my good friend Megan said to me, "I'm going to move to the country. We're going to go to Castlemaine." And I said, "Oh my God, why would you do that? Why on earth would you move into the country? I mean, the country's just abominable, backwards. There's nothing there. It's just a cultural backwater, a wasteland of society's drip tray." Anyway, that's what I thought. Well, that was more of the sort of ridiculous line that I took. I mean, it was more of a sort of a, me kind of amping up the fun of it, whatever. Anyway, turned out Megan, I don't think she listened to me, but she didn't end up moving. She did in the end, though, but just not that time. Because there are 3 different times, I think, when people move to the country. So I've been here for quite some time. I think we're up to who cares? We've been here since 2005. So that's, 15 years or something. I think. Yes. I hate doing maths on camera. I hate doing maths full stop, but on camera it's even harder. Anyway, there you were, thinking about moving to the country. You had no idea, and I had no idea. When I talked to Megan, and I tried to talk her out of tree changing, the month was November. By December, my wife had been offered a job in Kyneton. And I thought, here's an opportunity. And I said, your talents deserve to be spread out. Well, the reality was she just missed out on the job in the city. So she was a little bit kind of peeved at the whole thing. And me saying that, she should spread her wings didn't go down so well. My dearly beloved took about a day or 2 to change her mind. And I said, I don't know why, but I could make this work. I'd always been a digital nomad. I'd left my job. I was working from an internet connection, so it didn't matter. As long as we could get the internet, I could be working anywhere. So, by December, we had made up our mind, and we were looking for a place to rent. We were going to leave behind the big smoke. We were going to move to the country. And there started my adventure, our adventure into the country. And like I was saying earlier, there's only 3 times in your life that you can do that. At least 3 times it makes sense. There's a 4th which I just thought of, but the 3 times I'm going to tell you about now are: 1, when your children are little and you've done a little bit of city school stuff and you think to yourself, gee, my kids are freaks or whatever, and we'd be better off in a small town country school. No, it's not true. You just might think to yourself, it's a good time to make a move because, you know, they're not latched on to their friends by grade 1, right? Or even grade 3 for that matter. Although I still have friends I met in grade 3, but, you know. So that was the time that we decided to move. Our children were young and our first child was about to go to school, and for most of his life I'd been saying to him, look, that's where you're going to go to school, pointing to North Fitzroy Primary School. And it never happened. So he used to look in the door and go, wow, that's interesting, but it never happened. So it ended up we brought him to the country and he started prep, what was it called? I think it's called Foundation now, at Mount Macedon Primary School. A small school, 120 kids, I think, which was about 500 less kids than any school I ever attended. So I had no idea what it was really like. The second opportunity is when your kids leave home. When you decide that you're going to do something different whilst your kids get on with whatever they're getting on with. And often they end up moving into the family home and people buy a second house in the country or whatever, you know, smaller, cheaper house or whatever. And that's sort of your empty nester situation, which often precipitates lots of divorce because empty nest coincides with a lot of people getting divorced, as it turns out. That's one of the reasons why people leave the country so quickly. They come out, they get divorced, and then there's a property back on the market. Then the third and final time is actually the older generation at retirement. And they decide, I've always wanted to live in the country, and that's where I'm going. Now the fourth, which I alluded to before, but I won't, you know, I don't think it's really a thing because it's really rare. It's when people move to the country for a job. The reality is, there aren't that many jobs in the country, unless you're in health or education. And education is big. Lots of school teachers in the country, or lots of school teachers' jobs in the country. And that's why you should just have a great day. Thank you for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Did you know I make one of these for almost every day? I know, I sometimes miss a day or two. I've got to have a break sometime, right? And sometimes I get busy doing other things. But anyway, let's ignore that. If you don't want to miss one of these episodes, then you have to subscribe. It's free. It's fun and it's real. You just have to go to YouTube and you press subscribe, and you will be notified, if you like it or not, that another episode has been released. I try and let them go at 6:30 almost every day. So why don't you subscribe now? There's a link below in the description. Then you will have a great day.